Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So today we will just discuss the CAD standards from SHA, um, the workspace, the tools, the shortcuts that we need to use for SHA managed workspace that is being implemented recently, not recently, but a year ago, year and a half ago. Uh, let's go through. Let's go through the shortcuts first. Let me explain you the changes that have been happening at SHA for the CAD standards. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Where did I save it? CAD. Okay. So the state highway, we used to use SHA version of MBSHA CAD standards, which is V8.0, which used to be for V7 and V8. So in 2020, Bentley has migrated everything to Open Roads Designer. So after December 2020, they stopped supporting um, uh, the old version of Bentley MicroStation. So since then, all other transportation agencies throughout the country have migrated to Open Roads Designer. So Open Roads Designer basically uses, it's like a dynamic tools that you come up with in the Open Roads Designer. It's similar to the Civil 3D, if you may have used it before, like Civil 3D. So basically, if you're performing an operation, it will basically pop up a window. Basically, if you take a look at this, let's say it's kind of a Windows format. So if you want to edit anything, so they will have context sensitive windows. So if you will click on some text, if you have a text box, let's say if I put a text box here, right? Text box. So all the applications related to the text box will pop up. That's called context sensitive windows. Similar to that, if you click an element in MicroStation, all the tools related to that element, basically editing the element or drawing something, all of those will pop up automatically. It's basically similar to what Windows platform is doing. That's called context sensitive platforms. So Bentley has been working on that one to make it more user friendly, similar to Civil 3D. So when we load MicroStation, we basically have been provided with two tools, two workspaces basically. SHAV 8.01 and SHAV 8.02. So earlier we used to use only one version, V8.01, which is based off of 2004 workspace. In 2019, SHA has released two of the workspaces. So those workspaces, what I usually do is whenever I change any CAD standards, I save them under software. If you go to Bentley folder, MDOT, all the workspaces are saved here. This is the old workspace. This is the new workspace that we are using right now. So nobody should be making any changes to this folder. But all your standards, everything will be pulling it from this folder. So if you go here, there are shortcuts here. These are the shortcuts that you should be using. So if you have these shortcuts on your desktop, that's good. That means you're using the correct workspaces. And if you don't have these, let me know. I can come and install these workspaces on your desktop. And also I can ask Rick to do that if I'm not available. But not only these shortcuts, you also need to have a configuration file, which is this configuration file, which will map all the standards to S drive where this folder is located. Basically, it's this workspace, this SHA configuration file has to be modified based on where you save your standards. In our case, our company saves all the standards in S Bentley MDOT workspace. So you have to change this path. If you are saving somewhere else, you have to change this path and copy this file into your C drive, where the software is pulling all the standards from. It's a little bit complicated, but if you know some of the stuff, how the standards have been, installed previously, you will be able to use it. You will be able to navigate it through, but you don't have to go through all this process by yourself. Um, if you don't know about this stuff, just ignore it. You know, either myself or Rick will take care of this stuff on your computer. Let's go to SHA shortcuts. So the shortcuts that I have here, this is version 8.01 and version 8.02. So any projects, old projects that you're working from before 2020, you should be using this old workspace because you don't want to modify anything. You should be using this SHA V801 for the projects which are 2020 and older. Any new project that you start, you should be using SHA V8.02. Okay. The workspace that you see here. Is the workspace that you will be using. Okay. To access that workspace, basically you can click on this one, SHAV 8.02, which is the same shortcut that I copied from the folder that I saved. This one has both workspaces. If you use, my suggestion would be always use this work shortcut. Click on it. It will create it. It will create if it will open up a window. I mostly use Bentley Power and Roads because I sometimes I work with open roads. But if you are not doing open roads, there is another shortcut that you can utilize, which is right here, these two, SHAV 8.01, 8.02. I also have saved them in here. So this is for in-roads, open roads, and this is for purely for MicroStation. I have 4 of them. So either you can use this one or this one. I use mostly Power and Roads one. So once you have it, you can navigate using the project. If your project is old version of the project, you can use SHAV 8.0201. Or if it's if the project is new project after 2020, you should be using V8.02. Basically, what they did is they followed the national CADD standards. Earlier, MicroStation you only used to have 256 levels. Levels in the sense in terms of CAD, AutoCAD terms, it's called layers in AutoCAD. In MicroStation, it's levels. So which you can probably see here. I am fine here. So basically, if you look at this, if you click on this window, you will, so this one, you will see all these levels. In MicroStation, we call them levels. In AutoCAD, you call them layers. So earlier AutoCAD, MicroStation older version, they used to have 253 or 254 levels. Basically, entire design that you do, you have to put in into those 253 levels before. Now they're following national CAD standards, which has more multiple standards. Pretty much AutoCAD, all other agencies follow the national CAD standards except SHA. So now SHA is moving towards national CAD standards. This is how they created G annotation. Every file type has their own you know precursor here. They call it G general sheets. G stands for general, and then you have each level. I know if you have a note, you put it on the note level. If you have a project title, you put it on the title sheet. If you have some other element, you can create a level as well. You can just go create a level by level. You can create level, and you can name them as you wish. You can just go ahead, go to all levels, and you can create levels and put it in into separate levels. Um, so I'll go by overrides. Okay. So the first thing that you see once you open up MicroStation, let's say I'm opening up a file, which is this file. Once I open up, that will open this title sheet. This is just a sample. Forget about this title sheet. I'm going to teach you how to develop the title sheet, but once you open up a file, or you can create a file too. If you don't have any file, you can create a blank file as well. You know, so once you open up a file, if you are seeing all these windows like this, SHA, MDOT SHA tools, MDOT SHA bar menus, and all these, that means your standards are correct. But sometimes when you load it, if you don't see any of these, you will see just regular Bentley window. I'll show you how it looks. Taking a while. Okay, so I'm going to open up a file, any file, standard. Okay, this file, just open it up. So if you see these MicroStation, right? This is a standard MicroStation that comes from Bentley. None of the standards are loaded. Nothing is loaded here. Everything is based off of Bentley standard tools. Some of these are, GeoPack, but ignore these tools. But here, if you look at it, there's no SHA tool. Okay, there's no other information like what we have here. We compare it, you can basically put side by side. If you look at this, these are SHA tools. This is the file naming wizard, and this is for the drafting tool, level symbology. This is this is the drainage structure. So this is station offset. None of these is here. And you see MDSHA too, MDSHA window here for this file. But on this file, you don't see any of those. That means this file is not loading correct standards. So ignore that. So if you have something like this, let us know. We'll come and then fix the shortcut. Okay. So this is how it should look. The first thing that I'll be discussing today is how to set up a title sheet. Let's take a look at the title sheet. So basically, any file that you want to create in MicroStation for SHA, you have to use a tool called file naming wizard. Okay. Never create any file by just saving it as and not creating a name without using a file naming convention. this file naming convention window, if you click on that file naming convention window, which is right here, okay, it will pop up the naming wizard, file naming wizard. Okay. So I can also send you this guide, how to name file naming guide. Statewide title sheet, layout file. Sheet setup. Okay. Anyway, so here what you do is, this is how you create file. They have different categories. If you're working on range files, go and select the range. If you're working on facilities, we don't do the facilities that much, so we ignore this. We don't do geotechnical, ignore this. We don't do landscaping, ignore this. We don't do the mapping, ignore this. We don't do the planning. You can ignore pretty much all of them except the drainage, roadway, structures. Sometimes you may need to do the survey if you are doing ADA projects and stuff, because you will be drafting the survey, and the traffic. There is a traffic, file filter also. In our case, let's create one for the roadway. Okay. So when you're doing on roadway, any plans related to the roadway, you will select the roadway filter. And once you create the roadway filter, you will have different set of disciplines. One is composite file. Composite file is layout file. Earlier, we used to call it XLA or CLA. Now we composite layout. We call it CLA, composite layout file. Okay. Let's say creating an XLA file or CLA file, old XLA or CLA file. Select this composite, and you will have discipline. Are you doing the highway design? Are you doing the maintenance of traffic? Let's say we are doing highway design, and then file type, you don't need to specify anything. It is not applicable. For the project ID, always go by the project, 3 letters of the project. Basically, earlier we used to put road names like MD 122, MD 140, MD 223, something like that. From now onward, we should not be using MD roadway names. We should only be using the project ID, which I can give you the project ID. I can explain you how the project ID looks. So if we go back to
Shaq, is it the famous number?
Yeah, it should not, it cannot. I mean, it's not the famous number, but first 3 letters of the famous number.
Oh, the FR whatever.
FR 123 or FR 145, something like that.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, because if you use the roadway name, the same roadway might have multiple projects. But if you go by the famous number, the project famous number, or the 3 letters of the famous number.
One quick note on that. Anybody who is actively working on a project and working directly off of ProjectWise, like I know a couple of my projects are direct exports from ProjectWise. Do not rename your files because that will break the chain with ProjectWise. Never ever rename a file if it is direct export from ProjectWise. We can do that. If we have to do it, then we'll have to import everything back on ProjectWise, archive everything, then rename the files and then re-upload it back. That's how we have to do it. Otherwise, it's going to create multiple copies of the same file.
Yeah, in relation to ProjectWise, SHA wants all of us to work from ProjectWise, but it's not possible because the licensing issues. Licensing, earlier SHA used to issue a license to each ProjectWise user, but they stopped doing that. So they said each company has to pay for their own license for ProjectWise. And that's probably around $1,400-$1,500, right, Pushkar?
It's $800 per person per year. So if we have, I
great.
think we have like probably 25 to 30 users, you're talking about probably $25,000 to $30,000 a year. So what
Yeah.
we have decided, we do have licenses. I think we believe we have 18 licenses or maybe something like that, or 12 licenses. And so all our PMs have a license, and I think a few PEs have a license as well, and the directors and above also have licenses. So the way this works is the person who has the license would be able to upload and update the files on ProjectWise, and those files will then need to be exported into our local file folder. And by the way, we should have the similar folder structure for our P drive, so that at least for the CAD files, so that there is a direct correlation between what is being uploaded on ProjectWise and what is on the P drive. So just keep in mind the file that you are going to be working on are actually files that are directly linked to ProjectWise, even though you are working locally and you're making updates. Those files cannot be renamed or moved or copied over because then it breaks the link with ProjectWise. But if you have to do it, in some situations, I understand that you may have to do it. And if we have to do it, always coordinate with your PM.
Okay. For the project ID, what I was saying was these are the first three letters, SO194. You should be using those three letters basically for the project ID. Okay, this SO194. So if you don't have that project ID number, ask your PM, he will give it to you. This project ID will never change. Basically, this is SO stands for Somerset County. 194. Yeah, I'm not sure about these numbers. But the last two digits, 88. That's the fund category under which this project is being constructed or paid for. This is under Fund 88. And these two are some numbers related to the famous financial management information system or something like that, those numbers. There is a document that explains. Yeah.
I can explain, Shaq. SO is Somerset. SO is the first two letters of Somerset County. 194 is the project number. 5 is phase 5, which is the construction. So that number is the construction contract number. 3 is the third breakout phase of that project, and 88 is the Fund 88. Yeah. So, but for you, just the first 5 letters, the alphanumeric SO 194, that goes into that number, right?
So yeah. So here you can, once you enter those numbers, so 194, it will automatically create a file. So if you have multiple CADDs, you can do the start sequencing. You can start the sequence from 1. But usually, since most of the projects, we only have one CHD file, highway design layout file, we will keep it as 0. But if you want to create multiple files, you can create multiple files at the same time. Okay. And also your destination. Yeah.
Shaq, one quick note on that. So any master reference files like your layouts that CHD Shaq is talking about, or your master reference file for stormwater management, or anything like MOT, those are usually 000 files. And so if you have multiple versions of that file, 0000 file is always your the base file that you are always referencing to your print sheets. And the other note I want to quickly make is when you have multiple sheets, like for example, if you have 10 plan sheets, then you will use the sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, so forth.
So in this case, let's say if this is a roadway plan sheets, right? Roadway plan sheets, PhDs, roadway print sheet, highway design, file type is the plan sheet. It will automatically populate this. You will not be able to change this file list. It will automatically populate it. Now since you are going to be, let's say you're cutting the plan sheets for like 5 plan sheets, right? In that case, you'll say file count 5. It will automatically create 5 files when you hit enter. And also for the destination directory here, let's go by this. I'll explain you this one later. So destination directory, you can create this into your project folder. You can just select the path where you want to save your project. project directory, and then if you how is it? Okay, your border file. Okay, the border file should always be XBL. Okay, SHA supplies the border file. And if you go to SHA CAD standards, Bentley workspace standards, data, no, not data, sorry. Workspace, region, standard sheets. Yeah, right here. SHA border file. Take this file, name it as XBL. Copy it out, save it in your project directory, and you name it XBL. I'm gonna save it into my CAD directory, CAD training folder. I'm gonna save it here. It has to be XBL file name. Okay. XBL 000 underscore PG SO 194. So this is your border file. So this, if you open up this border file, this one has a multiple models in it. Let's go to. I'll explain the model file later, but so you select that XBL. I just selected the same folder where I saved it, right? I selected that XBL. So this XBL file has multiple model files. Okay. So we will, since we are doing the roadway plan sheets, we should be selecting the roadway. Okay. If you are doing the traffic, then you should be selecting the traffic model file. If you are doing drainage, so corresponding to whatever you're doing, you should be using that one. Okay. And then if you say, right now I'm saving this into my project folder or my training folder, training 2024 CAD sessions, session 1. I'm going to create a folder, plan sheets. You don't have to do this, but I'm just, since I'm saving this into this folder, I say accept, and it will automatically create all the plan sheets for the roadway. You go to the standard CAD. I created that folder called session plan sheets. So it created all my 5 plan sheets. Okay, roadway plan sheets. So that's how you use your file naming wizard. Where is it? Kick me out. And reopen it. Okay. So what we did is P drive. If you guys have any other, I mean, if you know a shortest way, if you have any small tools that you are familiar with it, you can share with us. Obviously, sharing will improve our knowledge. I may not know some of the tools that you guys might use. So if you want to chip in, always raise your hand and then discuss it. That way, not everyone knows all the tools. It's so vast. So yeah, always chip in if whenever you have any tools that are any improvements that you want to make. Training. Okay. So I created these plan sheets, right? If you can go and take a look at the plan sheets right now, the one that we created.
Shag, I have a quick point. So Rick and myself, and I believe I will also forward this invite, Shag, whenever you can attend. And there is an ACEC committee that IT committee that meets every month, and they are
Right.
coordinating directly with SHA so that any issues with CAD standards, we can directly communicate with them. Also, going forward, SHA is transitioning to Open Roads Designer only. So some of these CAD tools will be all gone. Like you won't have any of these tools available to you. So whatever you're learning now is going to be only effective for this year. Any projects that you're continuing to work this year and beyond. On those same projects, but any new projects starting next year, it will be all Open Roads Designer, which is a not MicroStation, it's a different software. So yeah, so there will be a little bit of learning curve there, and we'll have this training to be redone again sometimes next year.
And I have experience with Open Roads, so if anybody has questions, just don't hesitate to ask.
Okay. So what we discussed just now is the SHA file naming wizard. Basically, this is what file naming wizard. I'll send you this. This document is already saved into that training folder. You can go through this. Create some of the files by yourself if you are not familiar with it. Play with it. Create a folder on your desktop and do whatever you want, but don't do anything on the original project files that we already have. Just if you want to just play with it, just take a look at it. Let's go to the title sheet. How to create the title sheet. Okay, so from here, here's the file naming wizard. File naming wizard. So the way that you create the title sheet is you will click that same file naming wizard. It's easier to select it from here, just selection by description. You can also, instead of creating those roadway plans, we use this tools, right? Instead of that, you can also create the roadway plan sheets from here, but you will have to create it individually. So for title sheet, I always use this one. If you click on this toggle and then type TIT, it will bring in the title sheet print sheet. So you click on that one, you select your directory, wherever you're saving it. I'm saving it to plan sheet folder. And this would be project ID SO194. Okay, so the title sheet will not have any category. It will all be grayed out once you select this. And then you don't need to select any of this information. It will automatically create the title sheet. So if create the title sheet, just say accept it. It will bring in the title sheet. So this title sheet has two model files. One is the print sheet, one is the area map. So area map is just a background that you need to show an area map of the project location. It's completely blank for now, but it will be loaded with the USGS topo maps. So if you look at the quad map for the USGS, it will automatically be attached to the area map model. So all you need to do is you need to identify where your project is. First thing on this is you need to identify where your project is. Let's say my project is at the end of I-70. It's just an example. So the first thing that you do is create a fence around it, because it takes a while to load this. It's always better to create a fence around it and clip out anything that you don't need. So I'm creating a clip around it. Where is the clip boundary? Log. Okay. Clip. Not letting me create a block. What I'll do is I'll create a block and then use that as an element. Clip element. I'm going to select. not letting me select anything.
Do you have a dialog box open? You may have to close
Yeah,
that.
it's-
dialog box. Yeah.
It is there. The dialog box is open, but when I'm drawing a block, it's not even giving me a block option.
How many of you have done? Can you show a raise of hands or how many of you already done title sheets? I would expect most of you have already done it, right? Okay.
So you could try, instead of the block option, you could just create a fence and then change the method to fence, and it will clip back to fence.
I think I did that, right? Let me see. Let me do this.
So Gerard, you have done one, right? For some of these projects. So,
Yes.
so did you do it the same way that Shaik is showing you?
I usually bring in, I was gonna say, I know he's showing us the I guess the raster image map, but sometimes I turn that off and bring in like from like the details folder, there's like the
County maps.
yeah,
So-
those maps.
Mhm.
Shaq, you can create a fence using the fence tool directly, like next to the select button under Shift
Yeah, the
tools.
green
Yeah,
maps.
Or,
I
or create
created
an
that.
element. Okay.
Well, I use a different file anyway. So right now, let's say this is the area map, right? The area map that you just all you need to do is create a fence around it. That way, entire state is not loaded because it takes a while to load the entire map of the state, rather than the location where you have your project. Let's say I have my project at 695 and 95. Yeah. Interchange, right? Assume that that's your project. So clip mask around the topo, the quad topo around it, and only show that portion. Once you do this, go back to your model file. Okay. Read. Okay. Go back to your model file. Let me turn off. So go back to your model file, and it will be empty like this. Okay. First thing that you do is go to area map. Okay. And then you create a viewport. Okay. Name it area map. Select the element. You can select the element this as your element because this is your boundary of your map. Okay. So before that, you need to select this and just say apply and accept it. So once you accept it, it will bring in a window. It will create this viewport around it, and it will bring in that map from the area map. Now you can zoom in. And when you do that, what you have to do is the fence that you do, you have to keep this fence as is. Okay. Don't make the fence don't modify this fence. That way, when you move the map, if you have to move the map, let's say if you're moving this map, right? Sometimes you have to adjust the map to move to an exact location. So when you move this, you're only moving the map. You're not moving the fence. So I'm only moving the map right now, right? Make sure that you don't move this fence. This fence needs to be remain at the same place. Okay. So I'm bringing the map back here. So it will automatically create a viewport and it will place it into your area map. So basically, when I did that, it created this viewport, which matches my sheet viewport, and it will bring it in. It will ask you for the scale. For the scale purpose, you can do either 200 scale or 1000 scale. In our case, I think it did 1000 scale. I just accepted 1000. Yeah, it did 1000 scale. You can do 2000 scale too. You just change that and it will automatically fit in to 2000 scale. Okay, depending on how long is your project. In our case, let's change it back to 1000 scale. And once that is done, all you need to do is populate all the information. Oh, before that, always check and make sure that the standards are up to date. So if you go to updates, it will automatically give you update what has been updated when. Okay, so on let me clear. On October 6th, 2023, they issued an update. So what they changed on that update, it will automatically give you if you click on that window. They changed the title, this block at this location, they changed the name, right? They changed the date. They updated that. And if you click OK, it will take you to the next update. This model contains changes to October 6, 2023 update. Use key in, they'll give you information what has been changed. And they changed this text on October 6th. And also they changed this environmental node. And also they changed the existing structured nodes. They changed the context zone nodes. So basically you need to verify and make sure that your title sheet is up to date. If you want to do that, you need to go and click on that one. It will show you what has been changed and what is actually the current title sheet information has. So always click on this one, okay? Once you do that. So when you are in this title sheet model, this tool will automatically come up. You don't have to do anything, okay? And then how you populate this information here, I can go through all of this. Sometimes some of the projects, all this left-hand side of this title block basically gives you all the information what you need to do. Here we will put title blocks or the signature blocks of all consultants. Basically, if multiple companies are working on this project, basically BAI is working on this project. So you put BAI logo with my name if I'm working on highway. So this sheet numbers, the consultant logo, you will put BAI's logo, my seal here, my license number, my license expiration date. And for the sheets, you only place the sheets that I'm working on. Let's say if I'm working on highway and MOT, you will only add highway and MOT sheets. If Ankur is working on the road drainage, stormwater management, you add drainage stormwater management sheet, you place his signature, his seal, and you place it here. So mine will be here, Ankur's will be here. Tim is working on it. Tim's signature block will be here because of the liability. Everybody is responsible for their design. I cannot put my signature on Ankur's design. For that reason, we have to place all the sheet numbers that I am certifying. He has to place his signature on the sheets that Ankur is working. If CV is working, you do the same thing. You put the CV signature block, put whoever the designer is, their seal signature. They will send it to you basically. You add it on here. Sometimes if you do not have multiple sheets, like if you have only like 5-6 sheets for the project, you can put the index of sheets here. But if you have like hundreds of sheets, you have to create a new index of sheets, which is going to be sheet number 2. We'll do that later. So this portion of the sheet is done, right? Now, if you go here, you put this project number SHA SO194 5388. That was the project number for our case, right? You enter information. Federal Aid project number. You will get this project number from your project manager. You don't need to worry about it until you get this project number. And the project description, it has to exactly match the Form 42 project description. So for this, always talk to your project manager. He will give you the project information or project name on Form 42. As far as the town and county, you can, you know where the project is located. If it's in county limits, put the county municipality name. For our case, project that I just showed you, it's that. So this is the federal ID for project ID. This form, this name matches exactly same with Form 42. It has to. County name, you can write it like this: Somerset County, Crisfield. The project is located in Crisfield. NAD 83. So this information, it only can be placed if the survey is done for the project. If, let's say, ADA projects, right? For ADA projects, you don't do the survey. ADA improvements, sidewalk ramp improvements. They don't have NAD vertical or horizontal controls or vertical data information for those projects because you are sketching those existing features. Don't put that horizontal and vertical datums on your ADA projects. Only if the project has survey completed, then only you place this information. Okay. Project mile length, measure the project, just place it there. Design designation. Most of the projects would require design designation. However, some projects like ADA projects or guardrail improvement projects, they do not basically give you the, they don't need to be input. The project, this design designation doesn't need to be placed in here because we are not basically doing anything except just replacing the safety features. Survey numbers. Also, if you do not have right of way, you can leave it blank, but if most of the time you can get the right of way plat numbers. I can show you one location where you can get the right of way plat information. So SHA plats and survey division has plats and survey IMAP, where you can go to your project site, see if there are any plats that you can access. Let's say if I go to same location, let's go to 695 and 95 interchange. So if here you can turn on the recorded plats. There are so many plats here. You see all of these are plats. Okay. Plat information, you can click on that one. It will give you the plat number. So it will give you the plat ID. You can just place those plats if it's within your project number. Okay. And SHA, most of the time, if it goes to plats and survey division survey for review, they will verify this information also. They will verify it from here. Most of the plats have been plotted for this west Maryland, west of the Bay Bridge, but east side of the Bay Bridge, not all the plats have been recorded or placed into this IMAP. All you do is just identify this information and place it on your title sheet. Okay. Survey book numbers. If the project has completed a survey, then you will need to get the survey book numbers. Your surveyor, if your subconsultant is doing the survey, he's supposed to give you the survey book numbers because whenever he establishes controls on any of the projects, he has to give the control information, enter into the survey book numbers and give it back to the plats and survey division. These numbers, you will get it from your surveyor. If you did not get it, if the project has a survey, if you did not get it, you request it from your surveyor. Because this information has to be verified by the plats and survey division. Otherwise, during construction, if the controls are not correct, then if there is a horizontal and vertical errors, your project will not be constructed as designed. You know, especially for structures projects, it will be very, very critical because even a tenth of an inch would make a big difference when you have a structure to be constructed. But highway, yeah, it won't make a big difference for a highway portion, but it will definitely make a little bit of, it will create a problem during construction. So you do this, enter this information, survey book numbers from your surveyor, right of way plats, revisions. These revisions, this is mostly done after the advertisement. If there is a red line revision, if there's a green line revision, all the revisions will be entered here. Okay. So all of this information automatically populated. Okay, Anne Arundel County Soil Conservation District. So this is only used for AA County projects, this approval block. If your project is not in AA County, turn it off. You just turn on the level of the element, just turn it off. It will automatically turn off that level. But if your project is in Anne Arundel County, you may have to get approval from Anne Arundel County Soil Conservation District, and you have to have that block on. And also one more thing is milestone stamps. If your project is at PI stage, you place your milestone stamp here. Assuming that your project is not in Anne Arundel County. If it's other milestone, you place that milestone stamp here, okay, before you submit your milestone. And this block always needs to be on. If your project has PRD, approval needs to be made. The PRD will sign after the final approval. Until then, this approval block will be left blank. You just need to fill up your PRD number and the expiration date. They will fill it up later when they approve it. So usually PRD approvals, ENS approvals, PRD approvals are mostly for 3 years. Anything beyond 3 years, you need to get extension or you need to get reapproval. Most of the projects are getting they get constructed within 3 years. If it's getting extended, the project manager usually requests for an extension within the 3-year period. If it's a district project, you keep it district information, district project engineer. If it's a OHD project, whoever is approving authority, you will place their information here. Under here, you edit it here. If you place district 3. If you're working on district 3 project, it would be district engineer, and then you will have OHD engineer. Basically, I can show you that PDF. So this is the district 1 project, right? That's why I have district 1 engineer, and then I have OHD approval. Then you have chief of operations or chief engineer signature blocks. This project is not approved for stormwater management yet. That's why I don't have the stormwater management signature, and there are no modifications yet. Another thing is how to place the limit of work blocks. I assume everybody knows how to place the limit of blocks. You guys know? Okay, let me explain you. So limit of work box is right next to that, right next to the file naming wizard. If you go here, excuse me. Okay, limit of work box. You go here, you pull down. There is a place label, limit of work box label. Click on that one. This will pop up. This window will pop up. So this one has multiple levels of limit of works, multiple various types of limit of work or work box. Most of the time we use limit of work. Sometimes if you have to place it on a map, some note, you can use that one, map note. There are various other types, but mostly I use this one, limit of work. And if you have contract number, then you just add contract number SO 1945388. The project name, it does not have to, here the project name does not have to match the Form 42. You can name this as MD413 bike path. Everything has to be uppercase letter. Okay, bike path. You can just name it that way. Okay, and then station limits, you can just say 400 plus 00.00, whatever it is. And if you want to add some additional information, just click on this. You can add an additional information. Any information that you want to add, you can add it. But most of the time, this is all we need. You can delete that. You can delete this. Voice. Delete. Okay. These are automatically set. If you want to make edits, how the frame of the limit of work box, you can make the edits here. Okay. And if you want to change the name, Sometimes we have limit of paving differently, limit of work differently. So you can go back and change it limit of paving. You can make it limit of paving instead of limit of work. Okay. Let's go back and place it. You place limit of work box here. And you can do the same thing on the other side. You can do the same thing on the other side. This is your limit of work box. And you can, if you want to move it, you just say move edit. Yeah, just use edit button and then you can edit it. Why is it not letting me edit? You can move it around if you want to edit it. Yeah, I don't know why it's not letting me edit, but if you click on edit, this is how it will let you edit the window. Okay. And if you want to change the limit, move it back here and then just say edit again. Move edit. It will let you edit it. For some reason, it's not letting me edit it here. So basically, that's how you set up your title sheet. And then the second sheet that you will be doing is the index of sheet. It's the same thing. Just click on it, index of sheets. And it will be an empty sheet. You can use your XBL file, border file, index, select index, and then it would be first sequence. You can make it 0. You will, if you have multiple index sheets, if you assume that if you anticipate more than one sheet, if you anticipate like hundreds of sheets in your project, you can create 1 and 2. But most of the time you can accommodate most of the sheets into one sheet, one index of sheets. So do index of sheets, do the same thing, accept it, it will create an index of sheets. And you can place all the index, or you can update this index of sheets. Similarly, you can do the other sheets as well. What other sheets do you have? You have general note sheet. General notes sheets. Under highway. Print sheets, general notes, file tab, notes. You can create again. It will create general note sheet automatically. So this is your general note sheet. Once you receive your soil legend, you can just place soil legend here. That will be from OMT. Just copy it from here. Once you receive it from OMT. So for this one, okay. For some reason, it's copying it. Okay, it looks like the index of sheet. Somebody has updated the SHA border file, and we changed the project name. Usually this is blank. Okay. The XBL file that you created in this folder. Let's go back to the XBL file. I'll explain you what needs to be done there. XBL file, right? This is the one that we created. This one has multiple. This one has multiple model files. We are working on roadway. This is your roadway file. So this one has a reference. Basically, roadway portion only has this information, your highway design and your horizontal and vertical information. But the other thing, and the entire border is coming from XPL border, which is the title block. Title blocks should never be changed. It should only be changed once. It should never be played with because title block has all the information related to the project. Let's go to the title block. This is the title block here. So for your project information for all the disciplines, roadway, MOT, high drainage, for all of those disciplines, this project name will remain same. That's why the title block on set should never change unless there is a change in the project name or unless there is change in the project contract number or the advertisement date and all the stuff. But this should always remain same for the for all disciplines. Okay. And the tentative submission block. There is this tentative submission block. This should always be within this. Sometimes what I have seen is people copy this information into the different model file, into the roadway model file. I don't want to see that in the roadway model file because you will have different information on roadway and drainage files. You will have submission deadline to be some other date, and highway files you will have some other date. Always, once the title block is set, use only one title block, which is right here. Okay. We can change this to district 1 and then call it MD 413. Like that, whatever your form 42. This name also has to match form 42. This is just an example. And the contract number, you know where to get the contract number from. PRD, always make sure once your concept is submitted, once you receive first concept submission information, you will get the contract number, PRD number from there. Always, once you get the concept, first concept comments, take a look at the PRD number and update it. Usually the PRD number should be PR, something PR, some they will give you the number PR something like that 17 20 is 23001 or 23002 or 003 depending on 24. Now it's 24 PR, then it's year, and after that it's project ID, project number 005 or something like that. Always get that number and make sure that it's inserted into the title block, not in the individual model file. Design by, always make sure that the designer is up to date. And this design by information needs to be inputted into your discipline. So if you go back here, roadway, the design by should be my name here. You will only place, or for roadway, because design by should be, let's say, Kwaku, and check by SHA and SA. Just put SA, all that information. Don't put Ankur's name on heavy design portion of design files. Okay. This legend can be always updated because this legend is dependent on the individual discipline. Roadway legend can be different. Water resource legend can be different. Landscaping legend can be different. A traffic legend can be different. So you set it up in your model file. Other than this, what else is there? Next week, not next week. Next session, we will probably go through some other files like how to do the station offset, how to create LOD table, how to use sign tools, how to create MHD file, MMT file, MOT file, and all those information. I think for now, I have copied some information in here into this training session folder. CAD. Session 1, plan sheets, not plan sheets. There are a lot of information here. You can use that. You can go under CAD folder, manuals. I have all the manuals in here. If you want to explore them, just go in there, play with it, work with it, and you have all the tools and everything is already there. The manuals are there. Just follow it. It will give you, all the information how you set it up, like for airlines and wind control. How do you use that tool, airlines and wind control design tools? Everything is in there. Okay. Meanwhile, if you want to practice it, go ahead and practice this using these guidelines. Okay. Anybody has any questions or anything that they want to add? Any shortcuts that they know, which we haven't discussed? Anyone? All right. I think that's for it. That's it for today. We'll probably meet next month sometimes to go through other CAD tools, maybe inroads also, open roads. Maybe Bob, who can give an open roads session.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think my session is next week from today.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's good. All right. See you guys.
See ya.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shaq.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great trying.
Thank you.